All right, welcome to this tutorial on JSONms. This is the first one, and in this one we're going to see how to create our own interface and also instantiate our own server. With JSONms, you need a server to read from and save to, because JSONms only cares about your template structure. Your template structure are all the fields that you can define in order to generate an admin panel, right? JSONms knows nothing about the data of your users, and that's why you need your own server. You can run it locally, you can have it installed on a remote server somewhere on your web hosting, on AWS, whatever, it's up to you. But for the sake of this tutorial, we're gonna run it locally with customized web built-in PHP server. First thing that I'm gonna do now is create a new interface. So I'm gonna click on this green icon here in the interface selector. I'm gonna click create, and I have the choice between blank and ready to roll. Ready to roll contains a lot of fields and presets that are normally used in a project, but for the sake of this tutorial, since we want to learn, we're going to start from scratch. Automatically, I'm redirected to the documentation, which is a great thing. And if you take the time to read this documentation, you will have every scenario possible, any property or feature that you can use in JSONms. It's all going to be explained. And in settings here, you also have the README file for the PHP server, which we're going to use right now. And if you need to see how it works, even though I'm going to explain it to you and do it live before your eyes, you can also use this link right here. So we're not going to read this, we're just going to create it right away. So first thing you need, and this is mandatory, you need a global configuration with a title. I'm just going to do that and hit save. So my server is pretty slow, my web hosting is cheap, so it took time. So now my interface is saved, and I'm ready to go. First thing I'm gonna do is set some locals for my project, since multilingual projects are really a thing nowadays. So look at the top right corner here. I have some icons, but I don't have a local selector. But as soon as I paste some locals, boom, I can translate my project. So English and Spanish is fine to me. You can set the key of your local if you prefer, for instance, just 2 letters, you can do so, or if you want a full local key, you can do it as well, but you can set whatever you want. It's up to you. You can even invent a new language, no problem. And after that, I'm gonna create a new section. The documentation shows me how to do it. And as soon as I paste that code here, the section appeared. And the way it works is that I'm going to go in data just so you can see visually. So I have a section called home. Its label is home page, which is the label that you see here. And it contains 2 fields, title and body. And each one has a label that you can see here, title and body. I can change this and you will see the change appearing live, so you can change that pretty easily. But I want to focus on these customizable key because it's the way that your JSON is going to be structured. So if I, for instance, start to type something, right? Welcome to my home page. And I go in this session selector here and I click on edit JSON. I can already see a preview of my JSON, even though it's not saved yet. But you see that I have home, title, and my locals, because these fields are translatable, because they are set to internationalization, sorry for my pronunciation, and both are like this. But if I would have set string without being translatable, it would have been like straightforward string, right? Like so. I'm not going to save that, but just to explain to you how things work. So it's pretty important that you choose the keys that you want to use on the other side in your project in JavaScript or PHP or Python, whatever language you're going to use. So make sure you customize your keys the way you want. And just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to create a new section. So now it says unknown because it has no label. So services, I'm going to add a field, and let's call it whatever, picture. It's a type file label picture, right? So if I go in service, I have now a file manager for the picture field, and I can upload and whatever. It says no endpoint detected. This is normal. We're gonna go look into that right away. That's because we cannot save since we don't have a server defined yet. So let's hit cancel. I'm gonna save my template. I'm gonna go into settings, and here I'm gonna look at this webhook endpoint. This is the most important setting for your server. It defines where your information are saved and where you can read from, right? So right now I have no server, so I'm gonna hit manage, and right now it's asking me for an endpoint, right? I don't know what my endpoint is yet, but what we're gonna do, I'm gonna open a new terminal, right? I'm gonna create a new folder, test. Oh, test already exists, sorry about that. Let's do it again. Test. I'm gonna enter into test right now, okay. So to instantiate a new server, it's pretty easy. I'm just gonna do composer require JSONms PHP. It's gonna download the latest version of JSONms, and it has been done right away. So right now it does nothing because it doesn't have, let's say, like a main file, because you could just load JSONms in an existing project, but since it's just JSONms, it's blank, we're going to use the install script, right, from JSONms. So to do so, I'm going to type php vendor JSONms php install, right, install.php. It's going to ask me a couple of questions. So let's expand this a little bit. So would you like to automatically create an index.php that instantiates JSONms? By default is yes. I'm going to hit enter. Where in your file system do you want to save your data? So it already pre-populated with the current folder and a new private folder. I'm going to hit enter. What will be your public endpoint URL? And that's what we were looking at right now. So by default, it sets it to localhost 8080. You can choose whatever port you want, but if you would, for instance, install JSONms on another server, a web host, it would be a completely different URL, and you would set this URL here, and you would do the same here, right? So I'm going to use the default one. So I'm going to copy that and save it here. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to choose my endpoint, localhost. It asks me if I want to fetch the data, but since the server is not running yet, I'm just going to hit cancel. I don't need to do that. And I'm going to save my interface. Very important. Otherwise, the endpoint won't be associated with the interface. So now it has been done. So I'm gonna use 8080, so I'm not gonna type anything, just enter, so it sets it automatically. So I have to define the access control allow region. If you are using JSON.ms, you just type enter, it's gonna set it to JSONms, but since I'm doing a tutorial on a specific server, it's a different URL for me, but for you it's you just type enter. Or if you are running your own instance of JSONms because you went on GitHub and you cloned it and you are running it yourself, then it would be the server where you're going to run that instance, right? But I highly doubt that you're going to do that, so leave it to empty and type enter. So your webhook secret key, this is the important information. So after you selected your newly created webhook endpoint, you will have these two fields. Every webhook has its own secret, server secret and cipher key. Each one is different. So you click get here and get here. So I have my information. I'm just gonna always on top. So this is my secret key. Yes. So I hit enter and I'm gonna copy the cipher key. Same thing, your webhook cipher key. Paste. So now it says a new index.php file has been created. And I can validate that by listing the files. So what I'm going to do now, since I'm running this on my local machine, I'm going to run it on the localhost 8080, and I'm going to redirect all requests to index.php. I hit enter. So now the server is running and we are ready to go. So let's try this out. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm gonna go in data, homepage, and whoops, sorry about that. Okay, so right now I'm gonna hit save, and you see that some request entered or local server, and I'm gonna stop the server now by doing Control-C. I'm gonna list the files, and you see that I have a new private folder. So I'm going to enter into private. I'm going to ls again, and I have three folders: data, files, and interface. I'm interested into data, so I'm going to list that. You see that I have a JSON with a strange string, right? Every interface generates its own hash. It's going to be different for every interface. This one is the only one that we can find here. So I'm just gonna cat this, and you see that yes, my data has been saved in my local server. And if I, let's say, whoops, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna run the server again, right? And I'm going to, let's say, refresh this page. Okay, so I'm refreshing my instance, and you see that the data came right away. But if I would just, for the sake of it, clear my data and hit fetch again, so I had a couple of new requests and the data came, and I can validate that by going into edit JSON right here. And that would be that easy to have your own JSONms server. Obviously, you can also upload files. It's straightforward. As soon as you have your server running, you could just, I don't know, do I have an image that won't compromise me? Let's say whatever. I don't want to show you guys too many things. So this is formal me. All right. So it's working. Like the file is uploaded. I will just show you by stopping the server, going to private files, and yes, I have my file here, right? And I can check that by catting the list of files. So you see, right, every new file that you upload to JSONms is going to have an encrypted key, but you still have the original file name here, formal.jpg. There we go. That was that easy. So good luck with JSONms. You have the documentation here. You can also check on GitHub if you need more information. But we're going to create new tutorial, of course. We have this button that's going to redirect you to a YouTube page. Right now we don't have many, but soon we're going to upload more. So thank you for having took the time to listen to this tutorial, and I'm looking forward to see your JSONms project. So good luck. Ciao, ciao.